Every wrestling fan wants to blame somebody. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Who's the victim? When it comes to Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, I don't think it's that simple. I think there's an area and shade of gray. Is Kenny Omega becoming what he hates? Or is Will Ospreay playing everybody? And have they booked themselves once again, I'm talking about AEW, into a corner with both the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match and the Willow Nightingale Mercedes Moné match? We'll talk about it right now on this episode of the Crimson Mask Show. Something stinks to high heaven, and it has something to do with Will Ospreay. What am I talking about? Well, the quickness of, now I'm giving AEW the benefit of the doubt. The quickness in which Will Ospreay joined and quit the Death Riders not beating the shit out of Will Ospreay at this time of this recording. Let me say that. At this time of this recording. And just the fact that now all of a sudden he's going to strike out and just do it on his own, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I've been wrong lately, so what? Been a little bit wrong lately. We all be wrong some way lately as wrestling fans. We all wrong here and there. Somebody is going bad at All In. Let's look at the tail of the tape. Once again, Will Ospreay joined the Death Riders, quit the Death Riders. The Death Riders hadn't jumped. That's the point that we're going for towards Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega has been kind of paranoid, cowardly. He's sinking back into those heel Kenny Omega ways. Cleaner-esque. Even the Young Bucks don't know how to approach Kenny. What Kenny did last Wednesday, where he kept slapping the shit out of Will Ospreay, that is prime heel shit. But I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm buying that Will Ospreay all of a sudden is just going to quit the Death Riders. I know. I'm probably going out on the ledge here. Because, the most obvious thing is that Kenny Omega's turning heel and Will Ospreay is a face. But, damn, man. If they could just book it to where Kenny, leading up to the event, is doing all the heel shit, only to be turned on by Will Ospreay and the Death Riders at All In, chef's kiss. It has to happen that way, though. We cannot, and I feel like I've been saying this about AEW and WWE with some of these matchups they're having. We cannot have a situation like they did in WWE with Roman and Seth, where these guys meet, they fight, they shake hands, and they're both just good guys going on about their business. They cannot do that. It cannot happen. One of these guys have to turn heel and just lead into the next set of feuds and matches and excitement going forward. Can't have two faces, man. Can't do it. I hate matches where both guys are face. I hate it. I like matches where both guys are heel because usually it turns out being one guy ends up a face. If I had to predict what will happen, I would predict. I'm just following my sword. I'm gonna predict that Will Ospreay is gonna turn heel. I'm gonna predict that what is likely to happen is that Kenny Omega is a heel, which, while I won't say it's bad writing, it's definitely generic, bland writing because the writing has already been on the wall. Kenny attacked Will from behind, hit him with a one-winged angel. Kenny was the one slapping Will around. Kenny was the one saying that Will Ospreay will never be as good as him. All the signs you could think of points to Kenny Omega being the one who turns heel. I'm just the type of guy that I love a good swerve, and I think a perfect swerve will be Will Ospreay turning heel. We're going to find out one way or another. I do think it's suspicious, though, that the Death Riders is going to let Will Ospreay walk away. He chopped the shit out of Daniel Garcia. Nothing happened. Took off his patch, put his screw on Jon Moxley's chest. Nothing happened. I don't know, man. We're going to see. Or we could have something even more simple where Will Ospreay gets screwed over by the Death Riders. I don't think we're going to see Kenny join the Death Riders. That would just be fucking... It would be a hell of a swerve, but it would be hella stupid. So I don't think we're gonna see that. But right now, my opinion, this is the most interesting thing going on in AEW, and I'm 100% invested, 100% interested in these two going head to head. There is a chance that AEW has booked themselves into a corner with Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. Here's why, and it's quite simple. Willow Nightingale has been grinding from the bottom to the top for a long time. You could come to the conclusion that she absolutely deserved the AEW Women's Champion title reign. She definitely deserved it. However, and really not however, also, Mercedes Moné, like her, love her, hate her, she is probably the biggest female star in AEW, hands down. Yes, she cut her teeth in WWE. Yes, that is the reason why she's as big of a star as she is in AEW. And you have not yet put the AEW women's title around her waist. Both of these women deserve to be AEW women's champion, but there can only be one. Willow Nightingale just got the AEW women's title. She just got it. Yet Willow Nightingale is going up against Mercedes Moné, who has not yet had the title but is your biggest star. Who's going to win? Are you going to put Willow Nightingale in a position where she loses the title after what would it be? A month, month and a half? Or are you going to have Mercedes Moné take yet another loss to Willow Nightingale? Because she already lost the TBS title to Willow Nightingale in the past. So you're going to have her lose to Willow Nightingale again? I don't know. It feels like this has been booked into a corner. Because what you could have done is you could have had Willow Nightingale not win the title yet. You could have also had Mercedes Moné not immediately challenge Willow Nightingale. You could have kicked it down the road for at least a couple more pay-per-views. But now here we are. Here we are. These two women are going to face off, and one of them are going to have to lose. It's as simple as that. Yeah, you could do something like have Mercedes Moné cheat and take the belt off of Willow Nightingale. But if that happens, I'm going to feel like, well, Willow Nightingale shouldn't have lost the title right now. And if you had Mercedes Moné lose, then it's going to feel like, well, Mercedes Moné just can't beat Willow Nightingale. Damn, how long is it going to be before she actually get the men's women's title in AEW? That sounds like a corner to me, man. And I know fans, they have their differing opinions. A lot of people don't care for Mercedes Moné. That's besides the point. She's the biggest star. She deserves a title reign. Willow Nightingale has earned a title reign. So I mean, really, that's how it should go. Um, I guess AEW could probably, you know, hit the emergency button and have it be some type of finish where neither one of them wins, where it's a draw, where they fall off of something, they both get hurt, the match gets canceled, the match gets thrown out, and then they fight again. Willow gets more time as the champion, then Mercedes could take the belt. I mean, that's the route they could go, but they have definitely backed themselves into a corner. Okay, on this week's segment of Clown Corner, I have to talk about it. And I know it's a polarizing topic, but Motor City Machine Guns debuting on Collision. Yes, I understand that Collision is the wrestling show. Yes, I understand that they were in Detroit. And the Motor City Machine Guns, obviously, because of their name, Motor City, are from Detroit. I get it. I get it. This issue I'm having is actually bigger than the Motor City Machine Guns and where they debuted. The issue is actually, in my opinion, the fact that I never know when Collision is airing. I never know. I got the honest wish that they would just air Collision exclusively on HBO Max. The jumping from Saturday to Thursday to Friday, the jumping, the flipping, the jumping from day to day is fucking annoying, and it makes it a nightmare. Personally, it makes it a nightmare to make content because of all the jumping around. There's times where I go into Saturday, like, okay, Collision's on tonight, And Collision already had aired 2 days ago. It's annoying. And so that brings me to Motor City Machine Guns. Like I said, I'm not going to make too big of a deal about where they debuted, but you can't exclude, like, if you're going to push these guys as one of the top two new tag teams, you can't have these guys exclusively wrestling on Collision, because Collision, whether people like it or not, is AEW's B show. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't matter if it has the best, the longest wrestling matches, the most technical wrestling matches. This is their B show. Everybody knows Dynamite is the flagship show for AEW. Collision is a hell of a lot better than it used to be. And a lot of people say, oh, we love Rampage. We love Rampage. I did not like Rampage. I did not like Dark. I didn't like none of that shit. To me, Collision is far superior to those shows, but it still pales in comparison to Dynamite. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe. Not so much the Motor City Machine Guns debuting on Collision, but Collision itself. Stop jumping from day to day. I get it. You have to program around the other sports that are on the channel. But if that's the case, then when the TV rights deal comes up, whatever you guys do, just put the shit on HBO Max exclusively and air it the same fucking day that you air it every week. Please. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. If you made it to this part of the video, please like the video. Please subscribe. It'll help us with the algorithm. Hit that bell notification. I'll see you guys next week when we talk AEW again. You know the name, MFGDs. You know the game. It's the Crimson Mass Show. I'll check you out next time.